Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to a new lesson. This is week 5 of the online classes. Inshallah, today we're going to continue the topic we started last week. We're going to be talking about some more manners that make a good Muslim. We're going to be going through the pages 183 to 186, inshallah. We're going to look at manners in regards to traveling and also manners in regards to treating our young. So let's start, inshallah. The manners of traveling. Now, I know some of you maybe feel like, maybe this isn't something that you really think about or you pay much attention to. However, we know that Islam is a way of life and we benefit from Islam in every aspect of our life, everything we do, even traveling. You may be thinking, but when I travel, I go on a holiday, I go to have fun, and what's that got to do with Islam? Well, everything you do in Islam, everything you do throughout your daily life can be a rewardable action, and it can be something that you get rewards from if you have a good intention while you're doing it. Anything you're doing, including traveling, including eating, including sleeping, you can make these things into acts of worship, depending on how you do it and the intention you have while doing it. So let's have a look and see how we can do that. It says here, a believer's travel is profitable business. It means you're making profits, you're gaining benefit from it. And just like a traveling salesperson commercializes his product to his clients in every place he goes, a believer aims to earn spiritual rewards by doing good deeds and giving charity. So basically, as if you're a tradesperson, you're trying to sell your goods, you're trying to make money out of it. You, the whole time, as a believer, you're trying to gain rewards. This is the currency, or any in quotations, in between quotations, money that we care about. And basically, we care about gaining the pleasure of Allah in everything we do. Now, first and foremost, when you when you are traveling, when you start out on your journey, you are putting your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you're making tawakkul, and you are seeking His help to help you throughout your journey. Allah Ta'ala has given a special special excuses or licenses for people who are traveling. For example, with the prayer, we can shorten our prayers while we're traveling, or we should do while we're traveling, especially if we go further past a certain distance. Also, with fasting, when we are traveling, we are not obligated to fast. Allah Ta'ala likes us when He gives us a license to use, like make something easier for us. He likes us to use that. So, by shortening our prayers, by maybe combining our prayers, by not fasting, if we're traveling, this actually pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is a way it makes it easier for us, but it's also a way that we gain rewards. It mentions here, while you're traveling, you can visit people on the way if you have friends or family. If there's a graveyard on the way, you can go and visit it and take a heed from it. And I don't know if any of you have been to graveyards or not before, but it's a very different experience. You go to somewhere where it's completely quiet, there's no noise, there's no hustle and bustle, there's no fighting, there's nothing. It's just complete silence. Subhanallah. It's not easy for us to think about death, and it's not something that we like talking about or thinking about, but at the end of the day, this is where we're all going to end up. But inshallah, if we're on the right path, it will not be a bad experience for us. Inshallah, it will be a good experience. So, getting back to this, also one of the things that we can do while we're traveling is taking lessons from the earlier nations that lived before us in the places we visit. Sometimes you maybe go to a place and this was inhabited by an ancient civilization. Maybe you're going on a holiday, but while you're on your holiday, you're visiting a museum or you're visiting an ancient site somewhere. And we should take advice from that. You see the amazing feats in science and building that they reached, but eventually, where are they now? Where are they today? They're gone. No matter how powerful a person thinks they are, or how much wealth they have, or how much power they have, in the end of the day, we're going to leave all this behind us. So maybe when you're thinking about traveling, you're not thinking about how you can make it into a worship, but you can see that you can. Anything you do, you can be reflective on it and connect it back to your faith. Another thing is when you're looking at the beautiful scenery, maybe you've gone to a beautiful mountain, or you've gone to a forest, or you've gone to the seaside, or remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, the one who created all of this beauty, all of this beauty. None of us have the ability to create such beauty like this. So, yani, it's very clear for us, it's very obvious for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has left us so many signs in the universe that point back to Him, that there must be someone who is much more powerful than us, who has abilities we cannot even imagine, who made this beautiful universe and who keeps it and sustains it and takes care of it. It mentions here, students who travel to learn Islam from Muslim scholars, for every step they take, they get a reward. Now, I just want to talk about this principle in general. If you are doing something for the sake of Allah, every step on the way and every hardship you go through and every pain you go through, you will be rewarded for. So if you are traveling and you want to get knowledge, and you want to, whether it's Islamic knowledge or it's secular knowledge, but you're doing it for a good intention, you want to help yourself, you want to help your family, you want to help the Muslim Ummah, then every single thing you do will be rewarded. You guys studying and working hard and doing the best you can in your studies, if you have a good intention, then every single time you sit down and study, every minute that goes past, you're going to get rewarded for. If you're going to for example, you're going to help someone, someone's in need, and you go into their house to help them. Every step of the way, you're rewarded. You go into the mosque, every step of the way, you're rewarded. So, especially when we do something for sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, actually, it's not so important where you end up. What's more important is the path you're taking. So if you're on the right path, every step of the way you're going to be rewarded for. Even if you don't actually reach the destination you want to, what matters is that the efforts you're making. Allah Ta'ala is saying in the Quran that we travel in the earth and see how He made the first creation, and we reflected on the previous nations and how Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has power over all things. Travel in the land and see what was the end of the rejectors, meaning the people who rejected the message of Allah, where they end up now. And one of those examples are if you have been to Egypt or you've seen pictures in Egypt, and you can see how the pharaohs had such advanced knowledge, and they built things that even people today, scientists today, cannot do the same. They don't know how they were able to do that at the time, and they can't repeat it with all the technology we have. They reached amazing feats in science and whatnot. But where are they today? Their power is gone. Their civilization ended, and they took the knowledge that they had with them. So this is something that we should be reflective on. It mentions here that it would be good if we can do our journey on Thursdays or Mondays or Saturdays as a sunnah, following the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Also, before we travel, and this is not just before we travel, this is before anything we do, we should know the Islamic law concerning that. So, for example, before we travel, we should know what we do with our prayers, with our fasting, wiping off our socks while we're making wudu, and so on. We need to know the rulings that we are going to have to follow. And this is in everything in Islam. Ignorance is not a bliss in Islam. Some people say ignorance is a bliss. No, in Islam it's not. We are obligated to know the rulings of Islam that we need to know to be able to act in our daily lives according to Islam and according to what pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ignorance is not an excuse. So, as an example, before we travel, we should know the Islamic rulings of what we need to do. Also, it's be good for us to set out on our journey early in the morning. Prophet said, "Oh Allah, bless my people in the early mornings." In general, it's an advice that we should always start early. The blessings, take the blessings of the morning. I know a lot of us are not used to that, and it's hard for us. And for example, praying Fajr and then continuing working after Fajr. It's not very easy for us to do. But Ramadan is coming, and maybe we can try and change our routine a bit. A lot of scientists have proved it, and even non-Muslim scientists, that we're more energetic and it's better for our bodies and it's better for our sleeping and everything that we start early in the morning. Also, we should not go on journeys alone, and we should not go at night if possible. It's best for us to travel in company. Also, it's very, I just wanted to comment on something I find interesting here. That one of the advice of Prophet ﷺ is that when we're traveling, we should have at least two other people with us, and we should choose one of them as our leader. So imagine there's three people traveling; they should choose one of them as their leader, and they should obey his rule. Now, doesn't that sound a bit weird to you? Like, I guess if you think about it, like, why? Why would you need a leader? Like, if you're going on a journey, what do we need a leader for? Like, we're going to have fun or this or that. The thing is, leadership is one of the amazing concepts in humanity. Putting Islam aside, the need for leadership and the difference it makes when we have a leader or don't have a leader is tremendous. Maybe you guys haven't felt this in your life at this point in time because you're still, mashallah, you're still very young. But I'm sure as you grow older, you will realize this, the importance of having a leader. That's why our enemies of Islam, for example, they make sure that they take out our leaders. And they leave us with no leaders, and they put leaders who are not true leaders. They are followers, and they don't have any free will. They are following whatever our enemies want us to do. And you'll find if you have a good leader, automatically, like most of the people, most of the followers, or the rest of the people, they will start doing good and they will start following the right path. And the opposite is also true. So I believe this, this advice here is to show us how important it is to have a leader. And Muslims also need to have good leaders. And I hope, inshallah, one day from you will become the Muslim leaders for this Muslim Ummah, because we desperately need good leaders who are working for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you want to be a leader, you have to be the best person you can be. Don't compare yourself with others, but push yourself as hard as you can to be on the right path and to do as best as you can in everything you do, inshallah. Okay, there's some du'as we can say when we're traveling. The first one, it was from the Quran. Prophet ﷺ would say it when he would first get on his ride for the journey. Bismillahi majraha mursaha inna rabbi laghafurur rahim. In the name of Allah will be its moving and course and its resting. He's obviously talking about the animal that he was riding. Surely my Lord is forgiving and most merciful. And after he would ride, he would say Allahu Akbar 3 times and then say Subhana alladhi sakhara lana hadha wa ma kunna lahu muqrinin wa inna ila rabbina lamunqalibun. And who has created all the pairs and has appointed for you ships and cattle on which you ride, that you may be seated on their backs and remember your Lord's blessings when you are seated on them. To the end of the ayah, it says that we are going back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I just want to point out here that how many blessings do we have that we take for granted and we forget to thank Allah for. This is one of those examples. How many of us, when we get on an airplane or get on a car or get on a train or a bus, do we actually, or in a bike, do we remember that this is a blessing from Allah? And if Allah wanted, He could take it away from us. We could have no means of transportation except us having to walk everywhere. Even if Allah wanted, we wouldn't even be able to walk. Subhanallah. We are always in so many blessings that we don't even realize. The devil makes us forget the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us, makes us ungrateful and not thankful. So one of the blessings that Allah gave us is the vehicles that we have while traveling. During long journeys, we choose the safest place for camping at night. We don't make unnecessary stops and hang around. Also, one of the beautiful things about traveling, subhanAllah, Allah is so merciful with us, is that when we travel, our du'as are accepted. So we have a special dua that we can make, or no, I don't mean special, but I mean the du'as you make while you're traveling, they are accepted. So keep that in mind. The next time you're traveling, try and think up of the things that you want and make dua. If someone is suffering on our journey, we should help them. We shouldn't leave them behind. We should be considerate. If someone is sick or someone is tired, we should wait for them. We should have, we should talk to each other in a nice way, have good chats. If they are elderly, we should help them carry their luggage, give them our seats. We should, like now, if you get on a bus, inshallah, you're going to uni or you're going somewhere, you're going to school or whatever. If you see someone who's older than you, then out of respect, especially someone who's you're not able to stand up easily and you can see that they're suffering, you should get up and give them your seat. And remember that anything you do, Allah Ta'ala will reward. We shouldn't be making annoying noises. We shouldn't be disturbing people. We should not just think, okay, this it's just about me, 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 me. No. So we have to be careful. I know in Turkey, for example, they don't like people to talk out loud in public transportation or in lifts or whatnot. So we should keep that we should take into consideration. We should respect the people around us, not just do whatever we feel like doing. When we come back from our journey, it'd be nice if we can give gifts to our families, our friends, and it says here also respected teachers, even if it's something small and cheap, because this was the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Also, the most important thing, we should thank Allah for being able to come back from our journey safely and healthily. And we can do, it says here we can do 2 rakat a prayer as shukr. We know actually the most authentic or the authentic sunnah is we do sajdat shukr. So you go down and you make a prostration and you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when we're thinking of journeys as well, it doesn't mean that we're going on a long journey. It doesn't mean that you have to be going to a different country or different city. Just getting on the bus, getting in a taxi, getting in your car, you go into the mall. And there's something also to keep in mind. So all of these things we talked about, how to get rewards from our journey, would we be able to do it if we're going to on a journey with a bad intention? For example, you're going to the mall because you want to hang out and you want to hang out with girls, or vice versa, you want to hang out with boys, or you're going to, you're in a wrong relationship and you're going to meet someone secretly, or you're planning something bad. Are you going to be able to have a good intention and get rewards for this journey that you're doing? Of course not. So, if you cannot put a good intention before you do something, that means you shouldn't be doing it. Just keep that in mind. Okay, just so we don't make it too long, I will keep the last part, inshallah, for the next lecture. Thank you very much for joining me, and Assalamu alaikum. One last thing that I wanted to add. Prophet ﷺ, when he would give the companions some commands and advice while they were traveling, and he told them to have mercy towards the animals, allow the camels and the horses to graze, so allow them to eat and go through places where it has a lot of grass. If you are riding your camels through a place that's infertile and it's like there's nothing around for them to feed on, then you should go as fast as you can to keep up their strength and to arrive at your destination as soon as possible to make it easier for everyone at the end. You shouldn't be camping in the middle of the road. You should stay on the side. You should allow your animals to rest, unload whatever they're carrying, unload off them and allow them to have some rest. Treat your animals with kindness and lenience. Subhanallah, even Islam even talks about how to treat animals on journeys. What an amazing, beautiful religion that we have. And he's not just thinking about the people, thinking about even the animals that they're using. Subhanallah. Also, Rasulullah gave the Sahaba an advice that they should stick together while traveling and they should camp at the same place. They shouldn't be scattered all over the place. And at one point when they did scatter, he wasn't happy with that. And he said that is the way of the devil. And after that, they never did that again. Now, subhanAllah, this is a general rule. When we scatter, we are easily overcome by our enemies. We are easily harmed. For example, if a group of people are together, but each one of them is in one place, and there's someone who wants to steal something from them, these people, it's going to be easier for that person or harder. Obviously, if they're scattered all over the place, it's very easy for him or her to sneak up on someone while they're alone and cause them harm. But if they're together as a group, that won't happen. Just like in the animal kingdom, you have like a herd of buffaloes or something. They're traveling together, and like maybe there's like a tiger or a lion or something, and they want to attack and they want to take one of the buffaloes as prey. what they'll do is they'll wait and they'll watch and they'll wait until one of them is lagging behind for some reason, and then they'll make their move a lot of the times. So when we are together, we are strong. When we are scattered, then we lose our strength. And the reason we are going through what we're going through today in the Muslim Ummah is because of that, just because we are not standing together. So it's something to keep in mind. When Rasulullah arrived at his home, he would have nice gifts for his family members, and this is what we learned from his sunnah, and we should act the same. Thank you very much for joining me. I was going to do the part about treating the young, but it's taken, I don't want to go too long because it's taken a bit longer than I thought. So inshallah, we'll leave that part next week. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.